Hello again, YouTube! This is Dr. Kendo, and we're back with Scribblenauts Unlimited, the Object Editor creation series, and this is just where I create your favorite characters from movie, gaming, TV shows, stuff like that, and I just create whatever is most popular or most requested each week by the most amount of different viewers. So, of course, you guys saw last week we did Iron Man and Captain America remakes in honor of the Captain America Civil War movie that recently came out, and so, of course, you can see me kind of going over the Iron Man head stamps once again. I did go over these in the last commentary, so for the sake of kind of re-going over everything all over again, I'll say watch last Sunday's episode, I should say, and you can get those stamps kind of explained to you. And so for the body, though, it was a bomb disposal expert as the source object, and so we're going to take off the head and the arms, and of course color up the body to be more Iron Man colors. Of course, his kind of Captain America Civil War attire or whatever is this red gold pattern that has the gold on the sides right there, and also of course with the arc reactor being a pearl, we've got a trapezoid shape right there kind of behind it that's like blackish sort of. And for the legs, we're gonna go with the back leg of the Dark Knight. The only complaint that I have about the Dark Knight leg, I feel that it's sort of in the terms of Scribblenauts' universe or whatever, it does sort of fit Iron Man's design, but it's really short. It's a really short leg, and in Scribblenauts Unlimited, of course, the characters all have kind of short legs, but the Dark Knight especially, I think using that sort of back leg with the bomb disposal expert, that's just sort of what I'm complaining about. But anyway, we used cyborg arms for the arms, of course, of Iron Man, and those are pretty good as they are, although I'm probably going to add, some blasters on them, I'll probably use like a ball or something, but we'll get to that in a second. An octopus tentacles are the top kind of golden pieces, and then we're going to use a shambler right here on either side of kind of down below his chest, just some more design in his suit. And a manta ray, the fin is going to be sort of where his knees are at, and then a twiddle is going to be for some more golden kind of design colors on his suit right here. And so it looks like everything's kind of coming together. Iron Man is somewhat of a jumbled mess, I would say, of just stamps and things that we can use. So I will go with a golf ball, though, to put sort of on his palms where he can shoot out, and we'll shrink it down as much as we can and put it right here on where his hand would be, his palm. And so I'm going to go ahead and take another shambler arm from where those golden shambler pieces are and just put it behind this golden shambler piece to our left, to his right, and that's just going to show for some more outlining and detail. A pentagon shape there on his leg that is closest to us with a crane's kind of neck piece, the middle neck piece of a crane, going to be in there. We have reached the stamp limit now with this last octopus piece, so if you guys don't know, Scribblenauts Unlimited, of course, does have a stamp limit. Why do they call it Scribblenauts Unlimited? I don't know. You guys should definitely ask WB Games and Fifth Cell why did they call their game that if it does have a limit. Imagination. A stamp is basically anything that you type in here, like a piece of the puzzle, any item to create your overall character or object. So, again, there will be a limit to how many stamps you can put down on any given creation. So then we're going to go with a female space marine as the next kind of source object for this character. This is going to be Captain America. We're creating his torso first off. I'm going to use Jack. That is Maxwell's brother, Jack. There's also like the mechanical Jack. You don't want that, of course. The Maxwell brother Jack is for the legs, and a Bondrick is going to be for the belt going across his midsection right there. Tim Borelli, a Fifth Cell member, for the arms. And I just want to note, just because we use a female space marine as the source object, it never has to mean that that's what your character or your object actually is. Whatever you start off with a source object can be completely independent of what your thing actually is. If you start off with a demon, it doesn't mean that your character is a demon. You should, of course, change your scripting and stuff so people don't react to it as a demon if you don't want it to be one. But, basically what I'm saying is male or female, you're just going by the design when you're using a source object. The other thing to keep in mind with the source object is, will it save you stamps? That's the other thing that I sort of look at. Behaviors, stamps, things like that. But anyway, hopefully you guys see I'm actually creating his fingerless gloves, and it's like he's got his fists balled up right now. And what we're doing is we've actually got a clown nose right now where his hand should be, but then I'm moving a golf ball in place of that. And the reason for the clown nose was so that I could move these 29-page library arm shapes and put the thumb where the thumb should be, and all the other little fingers, being other 29-page library arm shapes, down sort of at the bottom of the clown nose where the curve is. And so again, the clown nose just sort of has that little like dip in it or whatever with the nose portion of it. And so I thought that we can use it like a marker basically to put the fingers in the correct position. So it's supposed to be like he's wearing his fingerless gloves, the fingers are coming through the gloves. But okay, we're on the properties editor, and so whenever I'm doing scripting in this series, I like to read background information and fun facts. And so this has a lot of characters, a lot of scripting, but I'm just going to read kind of just general facts about the movie rather than any specific character. So maybe it's obvious to most, but in Captain America Civil War, the Avengers team is thrust into opposing factions over a disagreement about international supervision and regulation of the team. So this means that it's Team Cap versus Team Iron Man, where united we stand, divided we fall. The budget on the film was $250 million. It released in the United States on May 6th, I believe earlier in other parts of the world, and all to the tune of a $1 billion gross worldwide. So obviously a financial success, but also a critical success. And I saw the movie about 2 weeks ago from this recording, and while I did enjoy it, I heard some calling it the greatest Marvel or superhero movie to date, and I don't think that I could take it that far. Again, I do think it was very good, probably in the top 5 for me, but to top the initial Avengers or X-Men movies, I mean, that would take a lot, but I can say it hurts my nerdy soul to see the team fighting with each other. So while I understand the Civil War was part of the lore and comic book plot line in the past, I just get sad seeing the heroes attacking their own, but hey, okay, I was happy to see it. And I just wanted to make a note on the Captain America head that I'm creating here. Of course, we start off with the head as a source object, a golden egg, put a nose down, a chicken nugget, a 29-page library arm shape on the chin part. But, I got some comments in the last Sunday's episode saying that it was wonderful, and I always appreciate that. But then I also had one or two maybe saying that they didn't like the head, and only one of the two actually told me why, but I asked them both, and one person said that the mouth wasn't good. I just want to say, look, everyone has their own way of creating. You're not right, I'm not right, and we're both right. But the basis for my designing Cap's head, kind of how I'm doing it, is that he's often not smiling. He often sort of has that sort of serious look on his face, or the stoic leader, perhaps. I personally wouldn't want to see too many other stamps being used for the mouth just on my own personal design, because lips would look kind of a bit foolish, and I don't want to make him smiling with either a hemisphere or smile or other stamps. So, this is all just sort of a kind of a look into my justification, of course. You can take it or leave it and just have fun with your own design, but hopefully you guys also saw that we used a worm, back piece of the tail, sort of for the opening of the eyes, goldfish bottom fin for the whites of the eyes, a dot and pimples for the colored and the pupil of his eyes, and then an A, of course, for the A that's on Captain America's head, and lots of other pieces, like we had the chicken nuggets for the ears, octopus tentacles for the straps right there on his chin and around his chin, as well as some silvery octopus, kind of metallic looking almost octopus tentacles that went up above or next to the A, I should say, on his head and mask. And so anyway, we took Iron Man's head now, my design that I just did, and we're gonna make this be for War Machine. And so I'm just kind of moving the cobia fins down a little bit, and then we added a 29-page library arm shape, the mutant arm, the green one from the 10th page, and mostly you can kind of make it all just look like a recolor. There was a little bit of movement in the design and changing of that, so not just a complete carbon copy of our Iron Man and recolor, but a semblance. And so then we're going to start off with a fighter pilot as the source object for his body, so this is going to be our War Machine's torso creation. And so the fighter pilot, whenever you color the body, it colors almost the entire thing. So, it looks like he has kind of individual parts that you can color, but it's actually set up where it will just color it as one solid block. And so I did put down this anti-prism shape, so if you're in Unmasked, you just type in anti-prism to get that crazy diamond 3D-ish looking shape. I don't even know how to explain that, but that's going to be on either side of his body. Cyborg arms, of course, and Dark Knight leg, the back leg, once again from the Dark Knight. And so if you guys do notice, anytime that I'm creating in Scribblenauts and I keep on the source character's legs but just shrink them down a lot, that's because Scribblenauts Unlimited is it has a bug, I guess, where whenever you take away the original legs from your source object's character, it will make the main character that you create sink into the ground a lot more than it should. So anyway, hopefully you saw we did take the bear, the front kind of thigh piece, the upper leg piece, I guess, in the front from the bear. Actually, it's in the back. I'm so sorry. In the back is what I meant. So that back kind of thigh piece of the bear is not only what we used above his knees on his legs there, but also where his arc reactor would be or whatever, his kind of chest piece right there. But I also used a riot gun to be there. That's going to be next to his head. It's up on his shoulder in essence. And then flare guns are going to be on his arms because he can also shoot from his arms like that. And War Machine, he is a war machine. He's got tons of weaponry and stuff that you can include or not include that you want to do. On Captain America's star and for War Machine's star here, I actually used a starfish instead of just a regular star from space or something. The starfish is just a different kind of shape if you want it to be sort of a more stretched out star, like long ways or whatever. So we did put that star on War Machine's shoulder up there. And so we're going to go ahead and move on. I know this is going probably kind of fast. I am trying to basically balance out. Do I go fast? Do I, have this episode be over 30 minutes long or something? Which I never like to do. And then I also want to balance where I am, fully explaining everything to you guys. So of course, starting off with an airman as the source object, removing all the limbs except for shrinking down the legs. We put down a thief, the back leg of the thief. Those are going to be for the legs here of this character, which is the Falcon. So we're also going to use Glum, Maxwell's brother Glum, for the arms. And we'll put the other one on in just a bit, but I'm also going to use a Wisp, take the body piece of the Wisp, and that's going to be sort of for his shoulder padding. I actually really like how that turned out, so definitely a victory there, I would say. And a glow stick is going to be sort of for the belt part, and the airman source object that we started with does have a lot of just straps and things going across the chest and all over the suit and whatnot, so that's kind of why I chose it for Falcon, because he's got just a lot on his suit, a lot in the designs. Then a golem, the shoulder piece, is what we use kind of for his control panel on his arm, where he can, control Red Wing and dispatch Red Wing and all that. But then I'm going to use a pecan and put that on either side. Some other parts of the world call it a pecan, so of course or pecan, so, whatever your preferred nomenclature is for that. Here where I'm from, we call it a pecan. And a holster on the side there, that would be to our right, to his left. 29-page library, arm shapes where his collar would be, sort of like a pop collar. And we've got octopus right now. We're going to take the tentacles once again. I'm going to use a lot of these, and those are going to be kind of above the boots right there for the Falcon's legs. And this time we'll take the front upper leg piece of the bear, and that's going to go behind those octopus tentacle pieces that we painted a dark red and put kind of on the boots and stuff. It's just to show that his boots are extended a little bit more. And here we'll do some light scripting. I'm going to actually script it though that he will use wings. We are going to create the Falcon's wings separately from the torso. This is because there's practically no way I would have enough stamp space or whatever to include that on the actual torso, and we want them to flap up and down. So here I started off with wing as the source object, or wings I should say. You want to make it plural. And then I put insect wings down on either side just for the kind of general shape of the wings. You can see one was created over to our left, his wing, but then I'm going to kind of finish up on the right here by using shark fin, the bottom fin, for the silvery metallic part. But then this red sort of fin pieces and stuff, that's going to come from a great white shark, his bottom fins. A shambler, we're going to paint that kind of black with some crazy color pattern on it. That's going to be for the top of the wings right here. A thresher shark is actually what we're using for it's going to be the fin again in the front, but on the bottom. That's going to be sort of for the edge of the wing. We have reached the stamp space limit, so, there may be like more design that you wish could be in it and stuff, so you just have to sort of imagine within the confines of Scribblenauts Unlimited and stamp limit and stuff like that, what do you want to include and what do you not want to include. But I thought that was a very good likeness of the wings, so we did get very, very close to, I think, replicating them in Scribblenauts. So anyway, a head and a golden egg is the source object again, and the main pieces and whatnot, and then a worm, taking that back piece of the tail once again. That's going to be for the goggles and stuff here on the Falcon's head, and we've got his nose. It's just a nose for the nose, and then a worm's middle body piece is what's going to be for the main sort of glasses pieces of the goggles and the glasses right here. And so I'm going to use a wishbone. This is a crazy item, a crazy stamp to use, but that's going to be sort of for his main part of his mustache. He's got the goatee kind of thing going on. We're going to use lips actually for the mouth here for the Falcon. I think that can work out okay. But I'm going to use confetti to sort of be, you can either use chicken feed or confetti, but chicken feed is going to be a little bit more spread out. So maybe a mix of chicken feed and confetti could work if you want to, but I just used confetti and painted all the pieces kind of this almost all the way dark black, but just a little bit under all the way. And that's going to be sort of for the chin hairs and stuff. And then chicken nuggets for the ears, like on our Captain America. I used a bondrick as the strap for the goggles or glasses. And then we're typing in an octopus, and we're going to take that tentacle piece that's there kind of to our right a little bit bit, darken up the eyes right here. Okay, and then another octopus piece. So this is, one of them is yellow, and then one of them was black behind it. And then we're going to use chalk, the writing chalk, not the material or billiards or anything like that, the writing piece of chalk for the part coming down for that little yellow design there. And so probably the hardest part of the Falcon's head, I would say, is getting the hair to be where it looks accurate and it doesn't look like he's wearing a yarmulke, because I did use a yarmulke. It's spelled like Yamulcha in this game, but I did use a yarmulke and try to make that replicate kind of his really, like, he doesn't have a lot of hair, but you could leave it without the yarmulke and without the kind of confetti pieces to make his hair and just sort of make the shading. You know, the golden egg itself has shading up on the top of the head, so if you would rather sort of do that look, I think that, you know, I would encourage either one if, you know, it was my own choices and stuff, but I'm gonna go ahead and show it with the yarmulke. But okay, we've got a gorilla as the source object. That would not be the animal gorilla, but guerilla, in essence, gorilla. Remove the head and removed one arm, not the back arm. This is gonna be for the Winter Soldier, or Bucky, and we're gonna use Liz England, the back leg of Liz England, a crazy zombie-like woman, but we just want those leg pieces right there. And so then I'm gonna use a golf ball for this back arm and stuff. That's gonna be like the glove. He's also gonna sort of have like maybe a balled up fist here. That's really kind of an accurate design you can do in Scribblenauts, because in this universe, here in Scribblenauts, it's hard to not make characters' hands look so like stiff, you know, they just sort of look like they're standing very stiff whenever you try to get hands or gloves involved. So if you sort of custom make the gloves or custom make, you know, the hands with many different stamps, or make a balled up fist kind of design, that works out pretty well. A DJ is going to be the arm that we use on to our left, his right, but hopefully you also notice that we did put just a regular star from space there on his metal arm, and the golf ball was the main part of the glove, with the top part of the glove near his arm being the letter I. And then I used a jellyfish tentacle piece, kind of that upper tentacle. You just want a straight black line and put that all up the metal arm so that it had the lines in it. Then we're going to use a female gamer for the head, and I did use 29-page library arm shapes again for the fingers coming out of his fingerless glove on the metal arm. Paint them metally, of course. A nose for the nose, jellyfish tentacle for the mouth, and we're going to kind of curve it a little bit so it's not straight. And then a goldfish bottom fin is for the white parts of the eyes. Toothpick is what we're going to use for his eyebrows, kind of slanting down here, going over the eyebrows of the gamer, the female gamer. And a ball is going to be for the colored part in his eye, and then a pimple for the pupil. It's all looking good and coming together. Winter Soldier, you can call him that, or you can call him Bucky, whatever you want to do. You know, it could go by either one. And it's like when we created the Falcon, you know, you can either call him the Falcon, or you could just call him Falcon or Sam, whatever you want to do. You know, this is all open to your interpretation, so that would all be fine. All right, so we're nearing the last hero's creation here. This is Bodybuilder as the source object, and then we went into the 10th page of the 29-page library and grabbed the mummy's body. There is a mummy torso and mummy parts and things like that. Tiberius is going to be for the legs. Tiberius is one of Maxwell's many brothers that he has. We kept on the arms of the bodybuilder, but we're going to add claws, because this is going to be Black Panther, the crazy Black Panther. He's so awesome in Civil War. Really cool design, really cool character. Octopus tentacles, though, are also kind of accenting some designs on the suit there with the claws. And we're going to use the back tail of the cobra, kind of the last piece of the tail in the back. And that's going to be for these teeth, you know, on the necklace, those like metal points, the teeth-looking necklace right there. And then octopus tentacles, also the kind of mostly straight octopus tentacle, but has a little bend on the end. Not only is going to be for a belt, but also for the parts of the necklace right there. So yeah, it's all kind of coming together. I did want to make one note about Tiberius. You know, we painted everything black. There is just one spot on Tiberius's back leg that you cannot paint. You know, I turned it as big as I could. I tried to do everything I could to paint that one little tiny speck. You guys may not even notice it. I don't know. It's like right in the middle of the leg. Now that I'm pointing it out, you'll probably notice, but that's just one that will not turn black because of that. But here's our Black Panther head. Started off with the head as the source object, a golden egg. Used a color pattern library, kind of swishy pattern on it, then painted it black. And of course, we've also got several other stamps on here, so let's go over those. Bacon is going to be sort of for these designs above the eyes right there, in both directions, both sides. And so then a goldfish, we're going to use the bottom fin from the goldfish and paint that white. That's going to be for his eyes right here. That's kind of what we used for a lot of our characters' eyes, it looks like. And then a scorpion, kind of for this upper middle piece of the tail. That's going to be for the ears here, and then the bottom middle piece is going to be for where his nose is. That's not meant to be like some cat nose or whatever. I just painted it darker to show that that is where where his nose is in the mask, you know, otherwise it would just look like a flat mask with the golden egg by itself. Octopus tentacle pieces will kind of by his cheeks and stuff. So here they are. This is so cool. Look at all the Civil War characters right here. Now, I do want to specifically note, I haven't mentioned this up until now because I wanted you guys to see. You can see the Vision, Hawkeye, Spider-Man, and Scarlet Witch, and Black Widow. You know, I have created those characters in other episodes, as well as Ant-Man. So Ant-Man was a more recent one as of last summer when the movie came out. But like Hawkeye, Black Widow, Scarlet Witch, Vision, those all came out in episode 94, which was when I made the Avengers. And that was like the Age of Ultron cast, you know, kind of the main heroes of Age of Ultron. And so they do look different. You know, I didn't use as much detail back then. This was almost like 2 years ago, I think. I mean, how long ago was that? You guys should go back to episode 94 and see. I mean, if this tells you anything, this is episode 173, and that's just numbered episodes. But I love this Team Cap right there, Team Captain America, and the Falcon just looks incredible. I really like that design. But then we've also got Team Iron Man. Probably my favorite of these that I've done is either Black Panther or War Machine, I would say. And it wouldn't be Civil War without having the two teams fighting each other. So as sad as it is, let's kind of see a whole bunch of battles taking place on screen right here in different portions of the screen, of course. This isn't necessarily, you know, who battled who in the film or whatever, but it is, some of them are accurate. Like, of course, Iron Man and Cap battled each other, and Ant-Man did fight Black Widow a little bit, but so did Barton, for instance, Hawkeye. So I'm just saying, there is a little bit of variability here, and I'm not making any particular team win here, you know, so I won't show anybody's death. I'm sure if you played it out or whatever, you could see which one is going to be more powerful, and that would, of course, depend on your scripting, too. But seriously, you guys rock. This was a super fun creation to do. I'm crazy out of breath. I've been working just like mad in everything in life. It hasn't been the most fun month, I would say, these last 4 weeks, but I'm getting through it. I'm slightly getting better, maybe. I don't know. I get better and then I get worse. As far as like being sick or being in pain or just, I'm always in bodily pain. But you guys don't want to hear about that. You guys just want to hear that you are amazing, and I really appreciate your support. Kendopolis, you are the best community on YouTube. I love you. And as always, I will catch you on the next vid. And thanks for viewing.
Down the road of twists and turns, always anxious to see what's within. We can look ahead to the point of no return, to the rest of our lives as the spectacle begins. I've been down the road of twists